Hey guys, Sleater Magic here, and let's blow through all 15 of the Mythics from Iconic Masters and take a look at their current prices and any other factors, really. Now, I'm also going to be talking about his draft quality. I mean, I'm not exactly a draft expert, but I know that if you pull a 10 cost, that is a dead card. I mean, honestly, if you pulled it at all, you pretty much just made a mistake. Well, unless you have like 4 or more ways to, ramp into it, because then 4 out of 40, 1 in 10, yeah, okay, maybe you'll get it out. It's a long shot, but hey. I mean, in any sealed format, anything above 6, and you're going to have trouble getting it out. Hell, that's true for, like, standard. So, I mean, let's start with Avacyn Angel of Hope here. She was only printed in Avacyn Restored. A lot of these were only printed once. Although, I gotta say, she was also in From the Vault Angels. It's just not, that wasn't, like, a widespread set. Both of them are actually $30. Now, whenever a card is in... from the vault, that means that the foil version of, we'll just say, Iconic Masters is very, very, very price capped. I mean, it's kind of like standard when they put the card in alternate art foil Mythic in the dual deck. That's happened to me many times where I'm like, how the hell is this $5? Oh, it's because the dual deck one is $7. Whoops. So yeah, that kind of sucks for this card, but still, I mean, $30, it's not bad. It's a $10 pack. I mean, that's really not bad. It's a real shame if you pull a foil one, but other than that, it's not bad. So, unfortunately, that's where the not badness ends. This is an 8-cost triple white, 8/8 flying vigilance indestructible creature. Indestructible is nice, but anything else, you kill her and you got a problem because your other permanents, all of them, including your lands, have indestructible. That is insanely good, but it's not single-handedly game-winning, and for like 8, 9, or 10 mana, the card damn well better be single-handedly game-winning. So, I mean, this is good. It doesn't have haste, but, I mean, Vigilance flying and indestructible is pretty damn good. You're going to swing away with her, obviously. But still, where the hell are you going to get 8 mana from? I know, like, Channel is in the set, and some other stuff. I didn't look too close at it, but this just seems very unrealistic. I would maybe money draft it, but... that's it. I don't think this would even make it into my deck. Next up, Thundermaw Hellkite. Now, this is a good card. I mean, it's a 5/5 flyer for 5, which is very, very good. Flying and haste, so you can swing with it the second it comes out. That's pretty damn good. And when it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent's control, just your opponent's, tap those creatures. So... this is going to swing for 5. I mean, it is almost guaranteed, unless something has, like, reach or they blow it up. So, I mean, yeah, for 5 and 5 damage, like, that could be lethal at this point. This is just good. Now, unfortunately, the M13 version of this, by the way, using Card Kingdom prices, because eBay's kind of unpredictable, unstable. They got other languages, other countries, other currencies, and, that's a mess. And TCG Player, their prices are just across the board a complete fantasy. Just because somebody set something at a certain price doesn't mean it ever sold for that price. And they've adjusted it accordingly because of complaints similar to that, but I wouldn't exactly call it fixed. And Card Kingdom, okay, they're a little high, but so is like Channel Fireball and Troll and Toad and all that, so whatevs. It's the best guideline I got, and they're not selling pre-orders yet, so this is just, the M13 version costs $8.50, just keep that in mind. How much will this one be? I don't know. But I mean, hey, it was only printed once, so I mean, whatever. But yeah, this is just solid draft, and it's moderate value. I like it. Next up, everybody's favorite Goblin Shaman, Keek Jeeky Mirror Breaker, aka Keeks McJeeks, aka Freaky Jeeky. I wouldn't say I hate this card, but I hate the deck that it goes in, because I hated Splinter Twin. I just hate infinite combos. They just shouldn't even be a part of the game. Quote, direct quote, Wizard Staff. So this was in From the Vault Legends, which means that if you pull a foil of this, it's virtually worthless because that's a $14 card. But then the regular one from MM2 is still 12, so it's still not 10, and the packs cost 10, so alright. And then the MM1 version is actually $13 for some unknown reason. That actually is really unusual. It's the same artwork, and they're basically 2 years apart. Weird. But, yeah, you guys know what he does. I mean, triple red, that's rough. And then, by the way, it actually costs 5 total. 2/2 with haste. Oh boy, I'm so sure you'll swing with them, but haste is more for the, tap ability. So, create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control, and that token is haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So, if it has an ETB trigger, great. If it has a death trigger, great. If it's gigantic, great. But you probably would have already won if something that good is on the field. But you might as well win at double the speed, and, maybe they had, like, a Celestial Flare in hand or something. I don't know. So it's not bad, but, I mean, a 2/2 for 5 that doesn't really guarantee you anything special, and it relies on something else really good to be on the field, I just don't like this card. Next up, arguably one of the absolute best cards in the entire set. It does cost 5, it is double white, but it's a 3/4 flying creature with lifelink. Angel, of course, because angels are freaking awesome. And get this, whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, including her. This is a flying super celestial phalanx leader, except with much easier triggers than, the hell was that called? Oh yeah, heroic. So yeah, she's just good. And there's so much life gain. It's just, if you pull this card, oh my god, like, you're gonna win the draft. I mean, she's a bit of a lightning rod with next to no protections, but hey, I mean, she's damn good. And she could just like dominate the game by herself. Oh look, I hit something. She gets bigger. Yay. And yeah, her price matches because she was only ever a Mythic in M14 and she's $24. Pretty damn good. Next up, Mana Drain. This was printed a grand total of basically one time. It depends if you count like Judge promos, but I think from now on I'm just going to say like actual real widespread sets. I mean, yeah, you could buy it for $180, the Judge promo, but yeah, this was in Legends. It's $180 from that set. Apparently I can't talk today. And it's just good. I mean, 2 blue counter target spell. Boom. That's already good. I mean, that is literally counter spell. But then guess what? At the beginning of your next main phase, add an amount of colorless mana to your mana pool equal to that spell's converted mana cost. So the big balancing act with this was back when it was printed in Legends, I'm pretty sure, not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure mana burn was still a thing. So if you generated 7 mana by countering a 7 mana spell, you better be able to spend it or you would take 7 damage. If you could only spend part of it, you're still going to take some damage. Well, guess what? So yeah, this card's just OP as balls, but still, double blue. I mean, it's not like outrageous. It's not like you can play it and win the game, but damn, it's good. Would I draft this? For money reasons, yes, and for power reasons, yes. It is just an across-the-board win. I love it. Next up, one of the 5 Praetors that were all reprinted. Spoiler alert. Jin Gitaxias, or Gitaxias. Whoops, I always say that wrong. Core Augur. He's a 10 cost, so you are never going to cast this. Just not going to happen. You could literally run 20 out of your 40 cards as lands, and you'll be dead before this hits the field. Absolutely unplayable in draft, but I'd probably still grab it because it's $17, or at least the new Phyrexian Mythic version is. So he has Flash. Oh boy, now you can surprise them with your 10 mana spell. That's more, it's a surprise to you too that you even got to 10 at that point. But get this, so at the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards, so hello. You almost definitely have to then discard something, but then each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 7 while he's in play. So at the end of their end step, they have to discard down to 0. So not an absolute guaranteed game win. I mean, if they have a superior board state, this will do next to nothing to help other than, well, give you 7 cards every turn. But yeah, like I said, you're not going to be able to play him. You just aren't. At least he's worth above $10. Next up, Praetor number 2. I'm just arbitrarily numbering them. Urabrask the Hidden. Well, this card sucks and its $7.50 price tag matches. Although, I mean, it costs 5, it's a 4/4, and it itself has haste because all creatures you control then have haste. So it's playable. I mean, I'd maybe pull it. But guess what? Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, which is weird because that's traditionally a white ability or maybe even blue. So that's kind of nice. I mean, especially if all your creatures have haste, which now they do. They could drop in something and say, okay, at least now I can block. No, you can't. Not till next turn. So yeah, an entire like turn advantage combat-wise, especially with red, it's good. It's just not that good because I mean, it's only a 4/4 for 5 by itself. By the way, gotta read that flavor text. When the Mirren resistance arrived, the furnace dwellers looked to Urabrask for guidance. His decree stunned the others. Let them be. Kinda odd considering he's like, let's not attack, when red's motto is, let's attack. I mean, just the color red means attack, like creature, rush, haste, rar. Okay, rar is more of like a green thing. They tend to have raring creatures. So next up we got Channel. Here's my beef with this one. Okay, even the alpha version of this card is $50. The beta version is $20. That is just shocking to me because I would think this would be in some kind of degenerate vintage or legacy deck. I mean, it's probably banned and restricted and all this other crap. I don't know. But I mean, you do need 2 green to get it going, which that's kind of doable. It's easier to generate red, I think. I'm not exactly a frickin' eternal expert here, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, until the end of turn, So, ongoing effect if this resolves. Anytime you can activate a mana ability, you may pay 1 life. If you do, add a colorless to your mana pool. Holy crap. So this is, every video game ever. Skyrim, I think, has this one where it's like, oh, I'm going to turn my life power into mana. Actually, no, that's not Skyrim, is it? I'm trying to think what the hell I was playing that had that. Well, besides every video game ever. So yeah, you want to get out a 10 cost? Here's how you do it. So Channel is a big old cheater card. The problem is you need like 4 of these in your deck and it's a mythic, so good luck. I mean, if you're like consistently wanting to get out high cost, overcosted stuff, this is the king of ramp right here, but boy, you're going to pay for it with life. This would be a damn good mix for white, though, because white's got a ton of life gains. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely playable in draft, but here's the thing. Some of the later prints, like, I want to say 4th and 5th edition, I don't know, I don't really have it in front of me, 25 freaking cents. Why the hell did they make this a mythic? Because those are uncommons. So, they could have at most made this a rare. I mean, this is just automatically no money. That's just really, really unusual to me, but, whatever. I mean, it's... I guess they didn't want people to draft this as an uncommon, because that would be just, like, ridiculous. So, like, I get it, and, I mean, I would have said, okay, then it's such a toxic card to draft, just don't put it in the set. Well, Iconic Masters, does it get much more iconic than Channel? So, like, I get it. They put it in, whatever. You're gonna feel like crap if you pull it, though. I'll give you that. So next up, we got Necropotence. If it looks familiar, that's because it was in Eternal Masters. It's triple black, which is pretty rough, but it's an enchantment, stays out, and you skip your draw step. Then whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. I think that's a replacement effect, not an after effect, but I'm not sure. It kind of sounds like an after effect, but I thought somebody told me different. But yeah, whenever you want, you can pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library face down, put that card into your hand at the beginning of your next end step. So a little bit of a delayed draw, but you can draw just about as many damn cards as you want as long as you're still alive. And the other thing is, if you have something that says every time you lose life, boom! Pay 1 life, you just lost 1, and those are individual instances. So yeah, you get a couple triggers off that. I mean, you could use this to artificially drive down your life total at will, and I mean, it's just crazy. There are all kinds of crazy degenerate crap you can do with this card, but not so much in draft. I mean, I'd probably throw it in because recurring, like, virtually free card draw is pretty damn good. But in 2 color, you're going to have a hard time coming up with 3 black. Oh, and got bad news for you. EMA edition of this is $8.50. Sorry, guys. Next up, Vorin Kleck's Voice of Hunger, Praetor number 3. He is a $24 card because he's freaking amazing, but he costs 8, so you're not going to get him out in a game. But he's a 7/6 Trampler, so yay, Plated Crusher without hexproof. And whenever you tap a land for mana, you basically get a bonus mana, so that's cool. So he's basically Cryptghast, which, that's a damn good card. But whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So this guy is disruptive and awful, and basically makes your opponent just about lose their entire turn every other turn. I mean, they could still do stuff as long as it doesn't take mana. I just don't know if I'd be comfortable swinging with them with that amazing 6 toughness, but then again, I mean, if all their mana's tapped, hey, why not? So yeah, he's a good card, he's money, whatever, just don't draft him. He's not going to do very well in draft. Next up, Ob Nixilis. This guy is sheer power, but I kind of wonder how good he'll be in draft, because if you can't build your whole deck around him, he's not that good. Even if, you can build an entire deck around him, he's only $7 right now, so apparently he's not in that good of a deck. But, yeah, he's a 3/3 for 5, and he has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player lose 3 life. Hello. If you do, put 3 counters on Ob Nixilis the Fallen. What? So if you can drop out multiple lands per turn, or Evolving Wilds, or a fetch land or something, oh my god, this guy will just dominate the game. But if you have very little control over land, you're going to drop a land. I mean, honestly, it costs 5, so at that point, you probably have 0 in your hand. You're going to drop a land once every 3 turns, because 1/3 of your deck is typically lands. So that's not very good, but you do it just once, and now you got a 4/4 for 5, and they took 3 damage, so I mean, you got some value there. Well, except money-wise, in which case you do not. Next up, a card so annoying it had to be banned from Commander, Primeval Titan, and by the way, they should definitely reban Protean Hulk. That card is garbage. Now, this card is not inherently broken, but the stuff it goes in is, so yeah. He's $12 though. He was printed in M11, M12, and Modern Masters 2, so that's a lot of printing. And then there's some kind of promo foil, promotional, whatever the hell of him for 17. So there goes the foil cost of him. But yeah, 6/6 trample for 6. Really no tricks there unless you cheat him out, which is exactly what people do. But when he enters the battlefield or attacks, so yikes, you may search your library for up to 2 land cards, put them directly onto the battlefield tapped. Hey, I'm Nicholas. Then shuffle your library. So, you know, he's good. I'd probably try and play him in draft. I mean, 6/6 trample for 6. It's on the upper end of what you could realistically cast, but he's worth it. Next up, the first Praetor, or Praetor, or Praline, or whatever the hell it's called, from New Phyrexia. And of course, it's literally from New Phyrexia, but it was also the pre-release foil, some kind of promo to do with that. Might have been just for showing up, or I don't remember how they even did them back then. But yeah, this is Sheogorath, god of madness, and she's one creepy-looking princess there, but she has the very, very extremely reliable mechanic of Swamp Walk, and she's a 6/6 for 7, kinda hard to get that going in draft. But at the beginning of your upkeep, you can return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, just straight up, permanently. It's not a zombie, it doesn't get exiled at the end of turn, just here, have it. And at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. Holy crap! So I mean, would I at least try to make this happen in draft? Probably, because if she comes out, it is just the end of the game within a couple turns. This is crazy. But get this, okay? See if you can explain this one to me. Regular version of her, $20. Pre-release alternate art foil promo, $14. So does that mean that this one will be 20, and then if you pull a foil from this set, it'll be less, or will it be more, or will this be under 14, and then the foil will be 14? I don't know. Next up, Consecrated Sphinx, all the way from Mirrodin Besieged, in which case, I guess, I don't know, that's the best way to phrase it, but it was a mythic, is what I'm trying to say. Now, you might remember this from Amon Ket, because it was one of the masterpieces, and yeah, kind of memorable, considering it's $90 frickin'. So if you pulled a foil of this out of Iconic Masters, yeah, it would probably be somewhere in between, still worth money. That's the best part about the Masterpiece series. They're so high that they still leave room for regular foils. So this guy's pretty nuts. He's a 4/6 flyer for 6, and whenever an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2 cards. That's just funny to me. Just outdrawing them 2-1 is kind of like a thing that you say. It's kind of like a cliche about, you know, blue control. You wanna draw them 2-1. Oh, I'm gonna draw twice as much as you. But this literally does it. Plus, he's pretty good in combat. So anyway, yeah, $24 for the Mirrodin Besieged version. So he's money. He's good. He's playable. I like him. Next up, Elish Norngran Cenobite or Cenobite or whatever. I don't even think that's a real word. She costs 7, so that's a little rough. But, you know, $26 card from MM2, and the new Phyrexian one is $26. That's kind of weird. And the promotional Judge foil, $280. Somebody explain that to me, please. It's not even alternate art. I mean, seriously, Card Kingdom has 6 of them in stock. Like, why? Just why on that price? Why is it not like $80? So anyway, you got money, do you got power? Yes, you do. I mean, 7 is a little rough in draft, but 4/7 Vigilance, that's cool. Good thing to swing with, I guess. And guess what? Other creatures that aren't her get +2/+2 pretty much as long as she's in play, so recurringly. So she's like, hello, 2 always watchings. And then creatures your opponents control get -2, -2. Okay? That is like that stupid anti-token enchantment from a couple sets back, but for everything. So if you have nothing else out on the battlefield, you're in rough shape, but if you do have pretty much anything else out, you've got a 4-point difference right off the bat between your creatures and their creatures. I mean, hello. So yeah, she's good, she's money, and the foils are still worth some money apparently, so I like this card. And actually, that's a perfect place to stop because, well, it's the last one, unless I missed one, but, well, that's 15, so it'd be weird if it did. So yeah, a couple really good bombs. I mean, a couple money cards, couple really, really good ones in draft. But overall, I mean, not great, and a lot of sub $10 cards, or I should say sub 14. There's quite a few that are under $14 specifically. So I mean, not great, but I mean, some of the rares are worth a fortune, and you're more likely to pull a rare. So it actually kind of benefits you guys. It's just, oh, bum mythic. And channel, I don't even know what to say about that. I'd say they shouldn't have picked it, but it kind of makes sense, and the rarity shift kind of makes sense too. I mean, remember, they're balancing like box value with how many times was it printed versus what kind of decks is it in versus is it fair in draft and just everything. There's so much to consider. They can't all be just perfect choices. Like all around, oh, it's money, it's fair, it's powerful, it's playable. Sometimes you just got to pick 2 out of the 4. And I would say that none of these are 0 out of the 4. So, you know, they're all right picks. So that is the Mythics. I think overall, pretty good choices for, you know, a couple logical reasons. I mean, they didn't absolutely knock it out of the park. But this is, remember, iconic masters, and holy crap are these iconic. I mean, absolutely 100% iconic. So, I mean, at least they got that going for them. It's just a shame that, you know, some of these are so overcosted on mana that they're just unbelievably difficult to play in Sealed. Because in Sealed, or any kind of Limited, you really can't control your amount of mana ramp necessarily. And trust me, trying to get there with just lands, not always consistent, not always a good idea. So the set still looks pretty good overall. So, you know, as bad as people might say that these Mythics are, the whole entire set as a whole is still pretty damn good, valuable, playable. You know, a lot of my favorite commons and uncommons are in there. So yeah, I love it so far. So shifting gears and topics just a hair. If you don't hear from me tomorrow, it's because I got to have, I don't know, a bit of a procedure done. And normally not a big deal at all. Except we've discovered that nothing they have can do anything to my nervous system. I'm immune to everything, just everything. Everybody's like, oh my god, you're like a freaking mutant, you're like an X-Men with superpowers. That would come in handy if somebody was like firing like tranquilizer darts at me, like if it's that Most Dangerous Game short story or something. And actually I'm pretty sure they're using just live rounds. I don't know why I thought of that. I think in some movies they use tranq darts. And honestly, if Benadryl can knock me on my butt, probably tranq darts could, but nothing they have there can work on me. Surface anesthetic, found out I'm 100% immune to that, has no effect on me. They even tried nitrous oxide. Like, they're going old school with this crap, like 1800s. No effect on me. Apparently my lungs don't absorb nitrous. I am seriously like a freaking mutant. So, since it's rather urgent, they decided to just do the whole thing with no anesthetic. And I've had similar things before, and every time I think about it, get a little bit of mental problems. Seriously, I legit had some issues after the last time. Like, I consider myself a mentally tough person who can go through just about everything because of all the crap that I've been through in my life, but that was really pushing it. So basically tomorrow night it's either gonna suck or it's gonna really suck, and either way I probably won't be making a damn video. So if you don't hear from me for a bit after tomorrow, don't go tweeting me, oh, where's the video, what happened? Because I'll just be like, haha, shut the hell up. Oh, and needless to say, the accompanying medical bill is, 4 digits, and I couldn't afford it if it was 2 digits. So if you want to help me out a bit, Patreon link down in the description. Also, I just dropped the mother of all spoiler bombs on Patreon, with like a hidden post for patrons only. Also, going to be coming up with a new t-shirt on Teespring pretty soon, as I can get my crap together. And honestly, just signing up for like YouTube Red at all benefits you and me. I'm not going to go into the math of why, just it does. Take my word for it. It somehow makes me money. Oh, and I'm working on a rather big sponsorship too, but it's not quite finalized yet, and it looks like it's falling apart in a hurry, which is an awful shame considering it would be worth probably between $10,000 and $50,000. I mean, for $10,000, I'd grab my flip cam, go out in the woods in frickin' like Wyoming, find a bear and punch it in the damn face. And what really burns me up is, given some circumstances, not going to get way into it, you guys would benefit from it just a little bit. It's kind of like a gimme thing. It's like as soon as I say it, you guys would be like, well, hell, sign me up. My God. It actually costs nothing as well. That's kind of why. And there's no gimmick. I mean, it's not like, oh, free trial. No, it literally costs nothing. That's why I think, the PFP option, pay for performance, where I get paid per sign up, would probably, go kind of well. Yeah, but just in case, I kind of don't want to say it right now, but it would benefit thousands of you, but I don't want to lose the money. Bit of a moral dilemma here. But hey, if they get back to me in the next couple days and say, sorry, we legitimately do not have like a resale or affiliate program anymore, fine, I'll just tell you guys and lose out on the money. Well, because at that point I've already lost out on the money. But seriously, you guys are probably going to like this. Now, if you're like, wow, you must be stressing over that because, 10 to 50 grand would be kind of nice right about now. That's, kind of more than I make in a year. Oh, trust me, I'm used to it, okay? I am used to the universe kicking me in the balls repeatedly anytime any opportunity comes up to make me even a small amount of money. Remember, I'm the guy who lost $1.21 million by selling my Bitcoins at the wrong time. I mean, if I had a winning Powerball number and I was on my way to turn it in and on the way to the lottery office in, I want to say Milwaukee, might be Madison though. I got attacked by a freaking Sasquatch, also didn't get it on film, also nobody else got it on film. He steals my ticket, eats it, flips me off, and then rides off on a legit hoverboard that actually hovers, and then jumps into a time portal to return to the year 2150 where Sasquatches have taken over the world. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not even surprised at this point. That's about right. That's about on par with what I would expect. My life for real. But if you did want to pick up a t-shirt, that would help me out a bit. That has proven to be, rather lucrative. Kind of burned itself out in the first couple weeks because everybody's like, they either want one or they don't and whatever. But hey, if you're a new sub, check out my Teespring at least. Link down in the description. Got some pretty funny shirts. Very, very order worthy. I might be a little biased because I make about 50% on them. Oh, but I do have a new shirt coming up pretty soon. So it's going to be freaking awesome. And hopefully 1,000 of you buy it because that'll make up for the medical bills. And if you want to keep hearing about what a shitstorm my life is one story at a time, hit that subscribe button and I will see you guys next video. Oh, unless I actually die on Wednesday, which is a distinct possibility.